throwing rounds, fists flying no bounds. Podcast kings, we pound for pound. UFC thrills, stills nights get loud. Big EQP, that's how we get down.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the GRP. Back at it again on a Thursday, getting ready for UFC 320. Magomed Ankalaev versus Alex Pereira, happening Saturday. And yeah, I'm ready for it. We got two titles. Merab Dvalishvili versus Cory Sandhagen for the Bantamweight Championship. Another banger fight, I think. I feel like these are going to... I'm getting the feeling that these are going to be some good fights on this card. And sometimes I always wish for that. But this time I'm like, it's not for any other reason than just a gut feeling that we're going to get some great fights on this card. So I'm hoping I'm right, just because, you know, it sucks when there's a pay-per-view and there's all this build up and lead up, and yeah, then it just doesn't come through. So I'm hoping that that's not the case for this weekend. But the weird thing is it just feels like there's not a lot of hype around this card. It feels like there's not a lot of big promotion happening around this card. And I think it's kind of weird. So I'm here to make sure that everyone knows what's up. No, I mean, honestly, though, I feel like there's some good potential on this card. And, you know, the top three fights alone, Jiri Prochazka versus Khalil Rountree, like, how the fuck can you not be excited for that? And then, I mean, just look at Khalil's last fight with Pereira. Like, that shit was a war. It's crazy. And you know Jiri is game and comes in ready to fucking throw down. So I don't know, man. I feel like that's going to be a great fight. And then you got Merab and Cory, which I get it. Some people don't like Merab's fighting style. But when it comes down to it, I mean, Cory's one of those guys that likes to go after it. And if that's the case, and he can, you know, get up from the takedowns or stop some of those takedowns, man, we could get a real good fight out of this. And Merab seems intent on striking. Maybe not fully, but maybe more than usual. So what's up, Infinity? I saw that, but I never acknowledged. My bad. But yeah, so, and then on top of that, we have the main event with Ankalaev versus Pereira. I'm hoping that this is 100% better than the last fight. And I mean, if Pereira comes in like the Pereira of old, Poaton's going to throw it down. And I don't know that Ankalaev can stop that. But it's just a matter of how Alex comes in. So, of course, we're going to get into all of it. Those are just my initial thoughts. And, you know, with the, man, that main card, who else we got? Josh Emmett. That's always a great fight to watch, versus Yusuf Salau. And then Abus Magomedov versus Joe Pyfer. Come on, Joe Pyfer. Like, I mean, I know people called fraud check on him in the fight that he lost or whatever, but I feel like Joe Pyfer is hungry and ready to go, and we could get a great fight out of that one. So that's just your main card. Like, what the fuck? So anyway, before I go too far, because I just saw the chat like move up a little bit when Infinity commented again, and I realized I got something new back there. You see that? Right there. Right. Oh, where am I moving? Right there. And oddly enough, or coincidentally, I should say, Infinity's name's right next to it, and he's the one that made that for me. So thank you, Infinity. I appreciate that. Nice little addition to the wall, and it goes great with the flag up there with the GRP Entertainment, and obviously the, you know, UFC logo, which is pretty sick. So I think it fits in pretty good right there, and looks like, yeah, I know I said oddly, I meant coincidentally. Ironically, maybe. That's kind of what I meant. But anyway, yes, I think it's dope. It came out really good. I know you showed me the picture or whatever, but I wasn't expecting it to be like, I don't know, the texture that it was, I guess, or maybe even the thickness that it is. So I mean, pause. I should watch what I'm saying, but you know what I mean. The letters are dope. Okay, that's what I'm trying to say. Oh my god. Pics don't always do it justice. Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, it looked dope in the pictures too. That's why I was like I was kind of like, yeah, this is gonna be sick. And then I got it and I was like, oh fuck, that's even better. Yeah, so I like it a lot. I mean, I couldn't even wait. I put it up as soon as well, maybe not as soon as I got it, but that same day, because I was just like, dude, I got to see how this is gonna look. I had to do some little touch-ups on my wall because yeah, I've moved around some stuff and there was some holes in the walls. You can't see them. Little holes from, yeah, once I remembered exactly because I forgot that it was in the mail. That was dumb of me. But yeah, I had to do some touch-ups on the wall. So I mean, luckily I have stuff that dries quick and shit. So painted it, made it look nice, and yeah, got that. So I like it. It's a good addition, and I think people will notice it because even though the chat's kind of in the way, people will be looking at the chat and they'll see it. So that'll be cool. So yeah, I like it. Appreciate it, Infinity. Much love to and thankful to you for sending that out to me. And then Infinity will be here Saturday still, I believe, as long as nothing's changed, because like he said, life be lifing, and sometimes you never know. So but yeah, Infinity will be here, Clark will be here, Bob Dole will be here. If you want to know why I say Bob Dole, if you recognize that name, you got to show up on Saturday and find out, or go back and look at the, yes, Infinity will be here, or go watch the last watch party that I had guests in, because he was here then as well. He's funny, and he's cool, and he's appreciative of being here, and he likes to just chill and watch the fights and talk it up and have some drinks, and that's what we like to do. So I'll talk more a little more about that here in a few minutes as well. But yeah, that's we got a lot to talk about. So I'm gonna hit up my sponsors real quick, or my sponsor real quick. Noctane Smelling Salts, of course. Definitely need this right now because I feel drained, and it's time to get a little awake and alert, and it's always a good way to boost that. Got them special lenses. What are you talking about? I don't even know what you're saying. Only bringing $20. I missed that one. Yeah, so Noctane. Oh man, it's leaking on me again. Shit. Yeah. I remember now. Actually, what's funny is I thought you threw them in that box because of the way you packaged the box. There's that extra paper on the side, and I was like, oh, that looks like something's in that. And I went to grab it. It's just a paper. I was laughing because I instantly remembered at that moment that you had said something about that. But no, that's cool though. So yeah, Noctane. If I don't spill it all over myself, I'm gonna take a nice little whiff here. I got to turn the fan off so it doesn't. I know I always deal with the fan, but I'm thankful I have this. Otherwise, I'd have to be yelling at the device back there to tell it to shut it off if I had that set up, but I don't. That's why I have a remote. Anyway, here we go. Nice big breath. Let's see how strong it is this time. Not very. Maybe it's dying on me even more. Hold on. Oh, God. Oh, there it is. Oh, it feels like it takes 2 tries now, but that shit is still strong. Ooh, I couldn't even fake that one. Holy shit. Yeah, there's definitely got me. Noctane said, "Gotcha, bitch." Oh my God. But that's why I love Noctane. This is the most potent bottle with the red cap. And ooh, my eyes are watery as hell. But yeah, this is the most potent one. They have a black cap that's mid-range, and then the white cap that is the least potent, the entry level. So if you want to just try it out, you can start there. You're feeling a little bolder, go to black, and then just wait on the red. Try it first, unless you want to go crazy. But it's good shit. I love it. And it's always fun to hit the smelling salts. And when we do watch parties, we go nuts with these because we're drinking and just having fun, and gotta stay awake sometimes. Sometimes the fights get a little boring, and when that happens, red equals death. YouTube didn't like that comment, Infinity, but I got you. I'm bringing black with me. I mean, there's double meaning to that, right? I'm sorry.
Oh shit. Here we go again.
I'm sorry. I made made myself laugh like a dumbass. Red unalived. There you go. There you go. You got it. 24/7 black. Oh, I should have played this one.
To this day.
I'm over here making myself laugh. What the fuck is wrong with me? Anyway, Noctane smelling salts. Thank you for the sponsorship. Appreciate it. Hit up that QR code, or there's a link in the description below. As always, go check out their website. It's a dope one. It's fun to look at, and it's informative. And go get yourself some Noctane, because it's good. So thank you, Noctane, for that. All right. So enough with the enough with the bullshit. Let me take a sip here. And let's get to this, because I got a lot to talk about. So here we go. Getting started. Let's hit up this recap real quick of Dana White's Contender Series that happened on Tuesday. Every Tuesday we got Dana White's Contender Series 5 fights, and they've been damn good, and they were pretty damn good this week too, with the exception of one. I wouldn't say it was horrible, but it wasn't great. It wasn't the best, and when it comes down to it, that happens sometimes. We got a few weeks in a row where every fight was damn good, and this is the only exception to this is that first fight of the night, which we'll talk about pretty quickly. But yeah, we had 5 fights. I think there was 1, maybe even 2 Fighting Nerds guys that were in here. We had a brother of an current UFC fighter, Charles Jourdain. His brother fought and won. As you can see up here, we got the matchups on the left, we got the winners chairs in the middle, and then we got the contract winners on the right. So if you're wondering what I got going on for visuals, and we're gonna go through these fights real quick, because yeah, we definitely got to talk about them, because they happened on Tuesday and it was a good night of fights, like I said. So getting started with the first fight of the night, which was not the best, and this was a Khabib Nurmagomedov. If you remember the legend, not everybody can live up to that name, and unfortunately Rashid Vagabov was not able to live up to that. It looks like he has some talent, it looks like he has some skills, but he was more interested in using the verbal skills than he was his fighting skills. Now don't get me wrong, he fought Paulo da Silva, Brazilian guy. I'm not exactly sure what camp he's out of, but I guess I could look that up real fast. But when it comes down to it, Vagabond was like a super favorite. He was like minus 700 or minus 715 or some shit. And while sometimes, you know, the odds and shit don't matter, when you're favored that much, you better go out there and do something. Especially you got double reasons to go out there, and triple reasons. You're part of Khabib's camp, so you got to live up to that name. I know that's a lot of pressure, but what the fuck? And then you're a plus or a minus 715. I keep saying plus, minus 715 favorite, which means everyone's got the, you know, they believe you can do it, even the odds makers. So, and then on top of all of that, you are on Dana White's Contender Series. You have to show up and you have to fucking show out. And if you don't get a fucking contract, whether you win or not. So that's how this fight went. Paulo da Silva was not able to capitalize on Vagabond's dumb shit, which leads me to believe that possibly he looks like Makayev with an extra generation. Oh shit. Oh my god.
Bruh.
Oh shit. Tyler, damn, just coming out swinging. Wow. All right. I got you, bro. I couldn't even hold back on that one. Holy shit. All right. I mean, I was with you when you said he looks like Ankalaev. The rest of that, those are the thoughts of Tyler Fish, but entertaining, I guess. Oh, man. The problem here, the biggest problem with this fight, as you can see in that right-hand picture, he's pointing. He was talking to Dana White. He's screaming out about how he's going to be a UFC champion and all this other bullshit, trying to be like Khabib when he was on the come up, when he was beating the shit out of Michael Johnson, talking about how he deserved it and how he was the, he deserved it. He was going to be the next champ. He needed to fight for the belt and all that. And Infinity just read that too. And you can't do that shit if you're not dominating the fight. Khabib was doing that while he was on top of Michael Johnson, dropping elbows and punches on him, telling him, hey, listen, brother, you got to let me have this. You're done for. Like, you can't get up. You're not going anywhere. I'm winning, and I'm getting the belt. That's what he was saying. And so he was showing it and proving it right then and there. This guy starts talking shit before he even does anything that matters. So I don't know, man. I don't know what the fuck this guy was thinking, but he got way too ahead of himself. He, the first round, he showed up a little bit and maybe he started feeling himself a little too much. So yeah, he started talking and then he stopped fighting, and it was just kind of a boring ass fight. So it wasn't the worst fight I've ever seen. Off to the PFL he goes.
Another one.
Yeah, more than likely. We'll see if he ever gets another chance, but the way that Dana talked about it, he's like, man, he kind of just, he said what I said a little harsher. The tone in his voice was like, what the fuck were you doing? And I'm surprised he didn't say more. But he denied him the contract, even though Vagabond got the unanimous decision. It wasn't a great fight. So Dana's like, I'm gonna pass. You're talking a lot of shit. And he said later on too that he remembers Kevin Holland talking a lot of shit, loses the fight, and doesn't get the contract, but he got called up later because he showed up and he showed that he was there and ready to fight regardless of the fact that he lost. And yeah, he turned things around. So I mean, it could always happen, but I don't know if Dana was impressed at all with this guy. So negative on the contract for him. So next up, we started with the beginning of the rest of the card having finishes on every fight, which is awesome. That's what you want out of the contender series. And Curtis Campbell just came in and showed everybody what you're supposed to do when you fight on the contender series. And he's a Scouser, so of course he's got that crazy accent, and he was entertaining as well on the mic, in the cage, all of it. And even though he kind of looks like a goofball with that hair, and he puts on some glasses and looks like even more of a goofball, prescription glasses, so I can't talk too much shit because he needs them. But yeah, he's a bit of a nerd, but he's a fighting nerd in a different way than that camp that we know about. So he moves up to 8-0 with a first round finish against Demba Sek, who looked like he might have some skills in the beginning, but that was quickly turned, and Curtis Campbell just annihilated him, got him with a knee and punches, and then finished him on the ground with some ground and pound. Didn't a fighting nerd lose on this card? He sure did, and I'm gonna get to that here pretty soon. I heard something about there being a couple of fighting nerds on this card, but I didn't know of any other one. There's one for sure, and that was in the fight against Louis Jourdain, which will be coming up here in just a minute. But yeah, I just wanted to give Curtis Campbell his flowers for coming out there, showing up, and bouncing us back from that shitty first fight, going a minute and 20 seconds into the first round, getting that TKO win, moves up from 7-0 to 8-0. He's coming over from FCC. The coach said something about they were living like champs before they were there. You talking about the Fighting Nerds? Oh, the Fighting Nerds coach? Yeah. Yeah, he said a lot. He was on Ariel Helwani's show, and he did come out and say a lot about those guys, and it sounds like he's realistic about the fact that they need to gather their shit and figure it out, because yeah, they got a little bit ahead of themselves, which is fine. I mean, they were up there ready to fight, make their way to a title, and they put some good fights on, but once that level of competition got a little higher, they crumbled a bit. And I say a bit, and I'm trying not to be too disrespectful about it, because I like those guys, but they all lost. And one loss doesn't mean shit, but when you're out there doing it like they were, it brings a lot of heat. So yeah, Tyler, I'm pretty sure that's what you were talking about. Anyway, welcome in, Tyler. I forgot to say that with your initial comment that came in hot. But if you've been here before, welcome back. If you are coming in for the first time, thank you. Make sure everybody that if you're in here right now, hit that like button, please. It takes a quick second. Just close out that chat and hit that like button, and then come right back to the chat and jump in. But he came in elbows first. Yeah, so anyway, Curtis Campbell comes in and puts on a good performance, gets that first round finish. Next up, we had another great performance. I can't even talk. This guy, the only American on the card, Christopher Alvidrez, I think it was. I saw him. I had to say that. Oh yeah. Yeah. Christopher Alvidrez comes in against Eliezer Kubanza, who was, this guy look how fucking ripped he is. Of course, the dude in the maroon. And he looked like a dude that was like, damn, like he's coming in there looking strong, looking like a fighter, but yeah, Alvidrez, he worked him, and he was able to put on an impressive show. And man, he was just landing everything he was throwing. He got a little crazy in the middle, and that's because this is the guy they showed fighting in the sand pits, right? If you're talking about like during the show, I'm not sure, because I watched it after the fact, and I just kind of fast forward through. But I wouldn't doubt it. Yeah, the guy that lost, yeah, more than likely, because I heard them talking him up like they said that he did kind of remind him of Ngannou, so more than likely that's why. So yeah, I didn't even see that part, but yeah, thanks for that one, because I must have missed that part. I was fast forwarding. I didn't watch it live because I was doing some other shit, but they were fun fights, so I'm glad I went back and watched them. Alvidrez did his thing, and like I said, he got a little wild in the middle there, because Kubanza was putting up a fight and defending well, and getting some punches in of his own. He landed this nasty body kick to Alvidrez, which you can kind of see on his side right there. He landed a nasty kick, and I thought that might be it for him with that body kick, because it was a tough ass kick, man, and I was just like, damn. But he pushed through, and he was able to get the finish. 4 minutes and 44 seconds into the first round, that moves him up to 7-1. He seems like a cool dude. Had a lot of backing there, family. He had a whole clan there, man. It was crazy. He had a bunch of fucking people. But yeah, it seems like he's got a good backing, and he seems like a dude that's got his head on right for fighting. So looks like this guy could be definitely somebody to watch out for. And I wouldn't say he's like the best on the mic, but he talked it up enough to make you listen, and I feel like he's gonna be one to look out for sure. Kubanza, who knows, maybe he just had a bad night. I think we might see him on the Contender Series again, because even Dana was like, that was the scariest dude on the card, and that's why he was so impressed with Alvidrez getting that TKO win against him, because he stood toe to toe and didn't back down, even with the big punches that landed on him and that nasty body kick. Holy shit. So this was definitely a fun fight in the welterweight division. That was the third fight of the night, first round finish. And like I said, all the rest of these fights on the card, besides that first one, were all finishes. And the only one that didn't make it out of the first round, or the only one that did make it out of the first round, besides the decision, was this fight here with Charles Jourdain's brother, Louis Jourdain, versus Magno Diaz, who is the Fighting Nerds guy. And he came in 6-1 into the bantamweight division to fight Louis Jourdain. But with Jourdain, I mean, yeah, the Fighting Nerds are an elite camp, but Jourdain has his brother in the UFC. It's his brother, and he's been training with him since they were kids. I guess he's had a bunch of injuries, in his career, and he finally got past them all and was able to, make it here to the Contender Series and actually compete. He's 9-3 overall, and he was able to get the third round submission of Magno Diaz. It was a pretty good fight all the way through, honestly. I mean, Diaz showed a little bit of promise here and there, but Jourdain was just too much for him. He wound up getting 39 seconds into the third round, gets the rear naked choke submission. As you can see in that right hand picture, he landed that nasty elbow there in that left picture. Holy crap, I'm never watching the UFC BJJ again. It's boring as hell. What's funny is right before I jumped in here, I was scrolling, and I saw a couple of posts saying, oh, if you don't like watching jiu-jitsu, you must not be watching these matches right now. And I'm like, how can they really be that good? I guess you have to kind of be into BJJ in order to find, but my thing is, it's the same thing with fights overall, but there's so many different ways in MMA to win a fight, and so many different ways to fight a fight that, it can be, it's entertaining, it keeps you going. But I get it would be entertaining if you practice beat. Yeah. I guess if you know it in and out, for sure. But the thing with jiu-jitsu is, like, you get to the high level and you're like, okay, what else is there? Like, what else is there? We've seen so much new shit come out. We've seen so many people do so many different things. We've seen all of the submissions. So I can understand why people would be like, what else can be done? We've seen a million rear naked chokes. We've seen a million, arm bars. It's like, what else are we gonna get on the street? No one wants to go to the ground, but yeah. Wow. Yeah, because if you're fighting in the street, you're fighting on asphalt and shit. You go to the ground, you're getting scraped up. But you also don't want to land on the ground after getting knocked out and bang your head. So it's scary either way. But yeah, I don't know. I get it. I get why people don't like stomped out. Yeah. Yeah, I get it why people would get bored with it. And I understand. I respect the art, but yeah, it's hard for me to watch those events all the way through. I'll catch a match here and there, but I can't sit down and watch it like I do MMA, because MMA incorporates that, and it's fun to watch that because then you got punches involved, which means as a guy's trying to work his position to get a submission, he could get punched in the fucking face, and that's what makes it entertaining. A lot of people don't get the technicality. They're not entertaining enough. Yeah, that's what I mean. There's only so much you can do, and with there only being so much you can do, yeah, without the punches mixed in, it takes away from it a little bit. So once again, you do have to. Mikey Musumeci would get curb stomped in the street. Oh man, yeah. Unless he gets a jump on you and wraps you up, but yeah, most people will be able to do something about that. I get jiu-jitsu being a way to defend in a certain manner, but it's always been something that people argue. So if Kayla or Ronda got a gi ripped off, the views would go up. It's true. But anyway, Charles Jourdain, speaking of jiu-jitsu, gets a rear naked choke in the third round and beats the Fighting Nerds guy, Magno Diaz, and gets the contract. And then we had the final fight of the night. Damian Piñas versus Victor Costa. This was a good fight while it lasted too. Pena's, man, he's just one of those guys that looks so comfortable in there, and he just put in work right away and got the finish. Was swinging on yeah, that's the thing. He looked comfortable in there, but you know, he was a little bit crazy with his punches, just kind of winding up and shit, but he landed, and he hurt Costa. So that's what needed to happen. He made it exciting, he was powerful, and he got the win. So first round finish, 1 minute and 46 seconds in the middleweight division. Damian Piñas gets the contract over Victor Costa, and yeah, that was Dana White's Contender Series. We had 3 guys from Brazil, 1 American, just a mix of people. Holy shit. Piñas. Yeah, what's funny is I think even YouTube thought that was saying something else, Tyler, because it didn't pop up on the chat. It popped up on the screen though. You can see it right there. And if you read that fast enough, it sounds pretty bad.
Gotcha, bitch.
Oh man,
that's nasty.
Anyway, holy shit, Tyler and Infinity just making jokes in here. Shit's funny. But yeah, so that was Dana White's Contender Series. Another good week, another good, for the most part, fights all the way through. It's good when you get all finishes. And then, yeah, no women on this card. The last 2 times the women fought, they all got contracts. That's how well they did, and it was fun. Even though they went to decision, they all got contracts because it was great fights. So no women on this one. We'll see what happens next week. I will preview the week 9 on Sunday when I do the recap for UFC 320. Which we'll be going over here in just a minute, and then yeah, any other combat sports news that comes up between now and then. So let's move on to other events happening this weekend before we hit up 320, and the first one would be PFL. That, if you didn't know, I'll be like Dana White, if you don't know, you know. But PFL has an event this weekend, a pretty good one actually. For that main event, at least, you got the rematch of Usman Nurmagomedov versus Pat Hughes for the PFL Vacant Lightweight Championship. So we got Nurmagomedov, who's 19-0, fighting Pat Hughes, who's 14-2. This card was absolutely zero hype. No one even knows about it because they have zero promo. Man, you are speaking the words that I always do, which is PFL doesn't know how to promote at all, whatsoever. You don't even know when the hell they're fighting. If I didn't follow shit, I wouldn't know either. That's a sad part. The other fights on this card, I mean, Corey Anderson, who former UFC fighter, fighting Dovlet Yagshimuradov. That's a fucking tough ass name to say. But yeah, Corey Anderson fighting in the co-main event for the PFL Vacant Light Heavyweight Championship. So what they're doing here is they are trying to establish official, actual weight class champions instead of tournament champions, super fight champions, all this other fucking bullshit. And isn't this shit on ESPN Unlimited or something? Like, no way I'm paying that much for PFL.
Damn, son.
No, man, you're right. It is. I did hear something about that, and like, why? What are we doing, man? PFL was supposed to be the number 2 organization after Bellator left. Not that Bellator was much of a number 2, but man, this is the shit I say all the time too, Tyler, which is why I'm like, fuck, you're right. Most people aren't paying for it one way or another. Yeah. But I don't even know that too many people go out of their way to stream this. That's the sad part, because it's just no one gives a shit. They need to do something to change it up. So, you know, they thought the smart cage and the teams and this tournament and the fucking all this other bullshit was gonna bring people in, and it doesn't. It doesn't, man. Put on good fights, build up your fighters, tell their stories. They got to know it's there first and do fucking promotion. When you're a big organization that has a lot of fighters that people know from the UFC, you got to capitalize on that, and they don't do a great job of that. Don Davis would disagree and say that he's the best and blah blah blah, which is the, you know, president of PFL, but that motherfucker don't know shit. So unfortunately, that's the truth, and I hate to say it, but when people come in the chat and even talk about it, like Tyler, I mean, that's how I know for sure. I don't know how hardcore Tyler is, but he sounds pretty hardcore fan. But even the people that aren't hardcore fans will even come in and be like, I don't fucking know what this is. What's that promotion that's selling out arenas in Europe? They should try to be like that instead of competing with the UFC. Promotion selling out arenas in Europe. What is that? I don't know. I'm not sure, honestly. There's a whole bunch of organizations I can think of. I know Brave CF has been doing well. Ryzen is in Japan, I think. Oh, Octagon, yeah, that Octagon, that makes sense. Yeah, Octagon is definitely one of those. So those are, yeah, overseas they do well. So yeah, stop trying to. But that's the thing, they're not even competing with the UFC because they're so fucking far behind. It's not even funny. They can't even smell a fart from the UFC because they're so far away. It's the only way I know how to say it. San Francisco and LA just tied off topic. Oh, okay. Yeah, I forgot football was on right now. Yeah. This is about the time I tune out. After a couple weeks of football, it goes away for me. I forget. Anyway, so yeah, PFL. We also have Magomedov fighting in this event. He fought for Bellator before. No surprise there. They're trying to compete with the UFC. They need to find a market that actually gives a fuck. Yeah, that is 100% true. And see, they got people like Sergio Pettis. But I mean, yes, Sergio Pettis hasn't been great for a while. He was pretty good in the UFC for a little bit. Anthony Pettis' brother. And he didn't do the best in Bellator, but I think he might have been champ at one point in Bellator. Let me see. Yeah, he was definitely the champ in Bellator at one point. But then he went on when he lost the belt to Patchy Mix, he went on it was a 3-fight losing streak. But he won his last one, his first fight in the PFL against Rufian Stotts, which is a good opponent. But, you know, since he left the UFC, not a lot of people pay that much attention to him, so that's unfortunate. Let's look at the rest of this card. Colin Loughrane, he's a decent fighter that I know. Irish guy. People are high on him. He's fighting Jack Cartwright. So that's another fight. Archie Colgan versus JJ Wilson. And those are the fights on your main card. So the one I have marked out here, that second fight was supposed to be Connor's boy from back in the day. What's his name? Artem Lobov. He was supposed to fight on this card. Colin Loughrane, didn't he recently fight in the UFC? Yeah. Yeah, he was. People thought he was going to do a lot better. But he wound up being 2-2 in the UFC. And then went to the PFL. So this is his first fight in the PFL because they released him. So he just didn't live up to the hype. And when you don't live up to the hype, they tend to get rid of you a little bit faster, which is unfortunate. But, you know, they can come back. So we'll see how he does in the PFL against somewhat lower level competition. And then maybe he can build his way back up to the UFC. But yeah, Artem Lobov was supposed to make his return after I don't know how long he was out from MMA. He boxed a couple times, if I remember correctly. He was in bare knuckle in 2021. That was the last time he fought, was in bare knuckle, where he retired. So then he came back, and he is back to MMA, or was supposed to be back to MMA and fighting against Zubaira Takugov. Fuck. Anyway, he was one of the guys in Khabib's camp that bullied fucking Artem back in the day. So they had like a little blood feud going on here, and it would have been a great fight, but it got canceled because Lobov got injured. Artem Lobov versus, oh yeah, here you go. Should have been on the main card. That's a very promotable fight, but it's too late now. Yeah, is the guy that punched McGregor in the cage at 229, right? Yeah, so he was a part of, so this was, I mean, that, like I said, they had a feud, they had beef from way back, and that would have been a great fucking fight. Like Tyler said, promotable as all hell, and it wasn't even on the main card. Because, I mean, who the fuck is Archie Colbin and JJ Wilson? Like, who gives a fuck about them? Put Artem Lobov in there, even if he's not, I mean, his record is fucking horrible, but that would have been entertaining. So, what are we doing? This is the problem with PFL. Promotional fail league is basically what that fucking what PFL stands for. I don't know, man. There's not really even anything else on this card, unfortunately, that it's like, there's not much else, man. I hate to say it. It is what it is. I'm looking, there's one guy that's 4-0 fighting in the heavyweight division. Punching bag. Yeah. That's about it though. So PFL is happening, I believe, is that tomorrow? Yes, that is going on tomorrow, and it's gonna be early too. Looks like 11 a.m. Eastern, 11:30 a.m. Eastern. Jesus. So yeah, that's gonna be during the day if you're interested in watching it. So yeah, tomorrow morning, exactly, Tyler. All right, so that's it for PFL. There wasn't much there, so I mean, that main event is a good one. We all know, I mean, if you know the UFC and been a fan for a while, Corey Anderson was there. We know Sergio Pettis, and then, like, you know, Colin Lochrain too, Jack Cartwright, couple ones in there that you might know, but yeah, besides that, not much else going on. So let's move on to something a little more exciting, and that is another event happening on Saturday. Except this is a pay-per-view, and that's what kind of sucks about it. So this is BKFC 82 happening on Saturday. The King of Violence and the Queen of Violence will be crowned. Right now, Mike Perry is the King of Violence in the BKFC. Oh yeah, sadly, it's at the same time in the UFC. It definitely is, and that's a damn shame. What's Dave Feldman was on Ariel's show as well, talking about that. And about the fact that, you know, I think it's a $50 event, so not as much as the UFC pay-per-views, but I mean, if someone's already paying $80 to watch the UFC because they know almost everybody on that card, or they're just more into the UFC, they're not going to pay the $50 to watch this as well. So that's tough, but it is what it is. Not if you got the Russian league. Yeah, exactly. Yep. If you got those links, it don't cost anything. But yeah, Mike Perry, former UFC fighter, as well as Jeremy Stevens. Mike Perry's the King of Violence. He's undefeated in bare knuckle. And the last thing everybody probably remembers is that he lost to Jake Paul in boxing, which is a damn shame because he's a fucking menace when it comes to bare knuckle. It's like bare knuckle was made for him. I feel like he 100% belongs there, and he's 5-0 in bare knuckle, and Jeremy Stevens is 3-0. So I mean, it could be entertaining for sure. We got it's weird because we got Mike Perry at the press conference, we got Conor McGregor and his cracked out self at the press conference. McGregor thought he was in the fight at the stare down. He did. I was about to get to. He did. Conor was more hyped than fucking Mike Perry and Jeremy Stevens. It was insane. He's screaming and yelling while he's in between the other two. It was insane.
Who the fuck is that guy?
That's obviously the Conor quote that was aimed at Jeremy Stevens when Jeremy Stevens started talking shit during a press conference back in the day when no one hardly knew who Jeremy Stevens was. So Conor, ironically enough, is basically the promoter. He's the Dana White of BKFC at this point, except a little more of a fool. He goes nuts. He's yelling and screaming and shit. I'm sure he's hopped up on something, and you know, it's good promotion for them because he's definitely hyping up the crowd or whatever. But damn, he's on another level. It's kind of crazy. So, but I mean, Mike Perry versus Stevens can be fucking an amazing fight. Honestly, bare knuckle is bloody. It's brutal. And if you're into that type of shit, it's fun to watch. But when the UFC's on, it's gonna be tough to get people to go watch that shit. Drugs and alcohol have ruined my life. So on the other holy shit. Other fights on that card, we got the Queen of Violence being crowned, Christine Fajeda versus Jessica Borga. There's beef here too. And they've been going at it since they've been matched up. They've had press conferences in the past, and it was kind of insane because Jessica Borga has an OF, and she's not shy, and she likes to show a lot of things happening. And Christine Fajeda called her, oh my god, what did she call her? It's like the card last week. McGregor came in the cage after the shit main event and was tweaking out of this world and was acting like it was the craziest fight ever. Yeah, he is like the cross between WWE and just the best promoter ever. Because he hypes everything up like if he was the one in there doing it, and he can guarantee $1 million that everything's going to be the best in the world. I don't know. It's insane. But yeah, I mean, BKFC has a lot of events too. I only really talk about the bigger ones, you know, where there's multiple fighters on the card that I know, unless it's just like a big main event. So I like it, don't get me wrong. I'll watch it if it's on and there's nothing else on, but I'm not going to go out of my way. I would love to watch this fight, but I will be here live on the watch party for UFC 320, so that's not going to happen. I'll watch it later. I'll catch the highlights. But Fajeda versus Borga, that should be a fun fight too, because they got a lot of bad blood. So Jimmy Rivera is on this card as well, former UFC fighter, was supposed to be fighting Frankie Edgar, which I don't know why the fuck they ever even thought that was a good idea. But Frankie Edgar, who got knocked out multiple times, massively knocked out multiple times at the end of his career, retired from the UFC, and then a few years later comes over and tries to fight in the BKFC. And props to Dave Feldman for really looking into the health and well-being of Frankie Edgar. We'll be shaking in excitement for a UAE Warriors 3 title fight card at the end of the month. Yeah. Shit. He said just kidding, but that's fucking funny. But yeah, so Frankie Edgar didn't get cleared. He got tested multiple times, various different things they tested, I guess, for his brain health and everything else, and they just wouldn't clear him to fight. So, you know, he's getting knocked out with 4-ounce gloves on in MMA. I mean, what do you think is going to happen in bare knuckle? I don't know. Seems a little bit ignorant to think that it was a good idea to have him on this event at all. But they did have him there. He was at one of the press conferences. He was talking about how happy he was to come back and fight. Unfortunately, he doesn't get to. So stepping in for him, we got Timmy Mason. Don't know much about him. He's 3-2 in BKFC, I guess. And yeah, he's fighting Jimmy Rivera, who's 2-2. So nothing crazy there. We got Carl Roberson versus Uluwale Bamboze, who looks like a fucking mean motherfucker. But Roberson fought in the UFC as well. And they are both making their BKFC debut. Phil Caracappa versus Quentin Gaskins. And now we're getting into names. I don't know who the fuck any of these guys are. So there's only a few more fights after that anyway. But yeah, this King and Queen of Violence is, you know, could be some really great fights at the top of that card. And then some recognizable names in the next couple fights after that, or before that. So not a bad card. Go back and watch it after the UFC, because there ain't no way anybody's watching this instead of the UFC on Saturday. So speaking of the UFC, let's talk about a couple of these fight announcements that happened earlier this week. Dana White went live on Instagram and announced the UFC Qatar event happening later in the month of November 22nd. And headlining that card, we got Arman Tsarukyan finally coming back. And after a bunch of grappling events and some crazy like food eating videos or some shit like that. I don't even know that you can call them mukbangs. This fool was just doing weird shit with food. Imagine how crazy a BKFC buildup would be if coked up McGregor actually fought. That, you know what? Before I moved on, I should have talked about that because, yeah, there's a lot of talk about Conor and the White House fight. And, you know, he's talking all that up. But during this whole press conference for the BKFC, all he could talk about is his beef with Mike Perry and how he would beat the shit out of Jeremy Stevens. And he's like, yeah, these two guys are just fighting to fight the king of the real king of violence and all this other shit, just talking crazy like Conor does. And yeah, it was nuts, man. And Conor says he's gonna fight one day in BKFC. He still has 2 fights on his contract for the UFC, one of which he's saying he 100% guarantees it's already written, signed, sealed, delivered, and that he's fighting on the White House card. But I don't know, man. You never know. We're barely, I mean, we got some months before that, like 8 months before that card. We'll see what happens if he can keep himself out of trouble long enough and maybe get down to actually training without any kind of street drugs involved. But we'll see. So yeah, a little bit more on Conor there. I should have said that while we were on the BKFC shit. But anyway, we got Arman Tsarukyan finally coming back and fighting. He's never fulfilling crap at the rate he's in. Yeah, I know. That's the bad part, because we want to see him back, but you don't want to see. I mean, I don't care if he gets his ass whooped. I'm not really that big of a Conor fan, honestly. McGregor probably signed contract with his plugs and thought it was thought it was a UFC contract. Maybe a movie. I don't even know if he can get a shit. He's doing well enough to fucking keep promoting the BKFC stuff, which I mean is probably helping that company. He is a stakeholder in that company. So yeah, he's doing what makes him money, that's for sure. But we got Arman Tsarukyan fighting Dan Hooker, which I feel like has real good potential to be a great fight. Finally, Tsarukyan coming back after, you know, the injury that pulled him out of a title fight, and hasn't fought since. So we'll see if might have signed an OF account with someone else to cheat on. Oh shit. Yeah, there's so much you could say about Conor. But yeah, Tsarukyan versus Hooker for the main event at UFC Qatar. And then we got in the co-main, former UFC champion Belal Muhammad fighting Ian Machado Gary, which that could be a good fight too. I mean, Belal showed us that he was good enough to win a title, but not good enough to hold on to it. So he couldn't even defend it once. Lost to Jack Della Maddalena, who's fighting later this month, I think. UFC Qatar 6. Yeah, this is going to be a good one. It's going to be during the day too, I believe. So I will probably be doing a watch party for that one. When is that? November 22nd? Yeah, there we go. So we got Belal Muhammad versus Ian Machado Gary in that co-main event. Volkan Ozdemir versus Alonzo Menefield. Felipe Lima versus Daniel Marcos. Bezkat Almakan versus Alexandre Topuria, who's Ilya Topuria's brother. Asu Almabayev versus Alex Perez. That's going to be a sick fight. Sergey Spivak versus Shamil Gaziev. Damn. Yeah, there's some good fights on this card. Bogdan Grad versus Luke Riley. Tigir Ulanbekov versus Kyoji Horiguchi. Holy shit. I didn't even know that fight was on here. Yeah, this looks like a damn good card. No way the Blob is back. Yeah. Yeah, man. This looks like a good card. So that's something to look forward to for sure. And yeah, it says, oh, it doesn't have a time yet. But being in Qatar, I believe I heard it was going to be a daytime card. So I will definitely be doing a solo watch party on that one, because that's what I do on those. Anyway, back to this. We have oh yeah, that was it though. That was it. I was just going over the card. So that looks like a good card for UFC Qatar. Looking forward to that one happening November 22nd. So at least now we know we got some good fights going on in November. But now that we're on the UFC train, we'll move into UFC 320. First, just a reminder, UFC 320 Watch Party podcast happening live during the main card of UFC 320. Ankalaev versus Pereira 2. Tyler says if every card was in the Middle East, we would have UFC 300 twice a year. Yeah. Oh, man. Some people want fights during the day. I enjoy them being at night, but I mean, leaves the night to do other shit, I guess. But yeah, this one's definitely happening at night. So 7 p.m. Arizona time. Account for whatever time zone you're in, but just know that when UFC 320, when that main card goes live, we will be live as well. Here in the studio, I'll have Infinity, who's in the chat right now. I got Clark, who's been on the podcast on the Watch Party before, pretty much every single one. And then Bob Dole was here last pay-per-view as well. He will be returning for his second appearance on the Watch Party podcast. Clark is Golf and Glory that you see there in the poster, that logo, and Infinity's Robin Clark. And Infinity is DJ Infinity. That's his logo there as well. He has a YouTube channel for his podcast, the Gcast. He's got some stuff up there. You can go check him out and subscribe and do all the good stuff for YouTube. Help his channel grow as well. But he'll be here on Saturday live in studio for the Watch Party podcast for UFC 320. We will be live when the main card is live, happening Saturday. Yeah, no problem, Infinity. We'll talk more about it as well on Saturday. But yeah, Watch Party podcast, don't miss it. Make sure you're subscribed here and you hit that notification bell. It'll tell you when we go live, or when I go live, or when I post anything. I've been posting some more shorts lately, making some edits with the fights and stuff coming up. Check those out on YouTube Shorts. It'll notify you when I post those as well. So go check all that out. Make sure you like this video while you're here. And if you're here after the live, comment as well. Do all the fun stuff for me. Help me grow the channel, please. Appreciate it. Let's move into this actual event now. UFC 320. Magomed Ankalaev versus Alex Pereira, the rematch part 2. And the first fight, we know Ankalaev beat Pereira. I'll be over here trudging through the mud watching the early prelims. Fuck yeah. I watch all the prelims too, man. I just it's a little early to go live for those because it's harder to get everybody together. I could go live on my own, but then that just takes a huge chunk of my day, and sometimes I got shit to do. So but I'm always watching the fights, whether it's on my phone or I'm sitting on the couch watching it on TV. I'll definitely be watching all the prelims, and I like to make sure I'm all prepped up and ready to go for the watch party during the main card. But it's hard to sit here for fucking like 6 hours too. That's tough. So yeah, maybe sometime down the road we'll start doing prelims as well. Who knows? Every once in a while. For now though, it's just the main card, and I'll definitely be watching the prelims, and I usually talk about them at the top of the show. When we start, once we go live, we'll do all the intros and then talk about the prelims before we get started on the main card. So yeah, join in on Saturday, Tyler. You can jump back in the chat, make us laugh some more, and bullshit with us while we have some drinks and watch the fights. So I mean, what do you want to listen to the regular broadcast for? I mean, they don't even talk back. Paramount Eagles might change that. Yeah, I know. It still takes a lot of time though, so we'll see. But also, co-main event. I have a home gym area right in front of my TV, so I usually work out during the prelims. Yeah, that's the way to do it, man. That sounds like a good plan. But for the co-main event, we have a second title on the line. Merab Dvalishvili versus Cory Sandhagen for the men's bantamweight championship. This should be a good one. Do you say that leg is toast after 3 leg kicks? Because if not, it won't be the same. Are you talking about Ankalaev and Pereira? Because yeah, I mean, if Alex comes out throwing, he needs to actually throw the goddamn leg kicks this time though. He didn't do much of that in that first fight. I know he talked about being injured and being only like 40% or whatever, but yeah, he definitely needs to come out. But yeah, it'll be the same outcome if he doesn't do that. That's for damn sure. So we also got Merab and Cory fighting for the bantamweight championship. That's going to be a fun one, I think. unless Merab just fully dominates like he has in the past. No, the broadcast after 3 leg kicks. Oh, the leg is toast, man. Oh shit, I see what you're saying. Yeah, that's funny. That's the point too. Yeah, it's just like, why do you want to listen? I mean, I love Joe Rogan, don't get me wrong, but I'd rather listen to his podcast than listen to him commentate most of the time, because yeah, it's just whatever. It is what it is. That's why the watch party, we listen to it. You guys won't be able to hear it, but we hear it in our ears just so we kind of know what's happening in the background. But yeah, we like to just talk shit. So that's what we like to do, and we like to have fun. So come join us. But yeah, I feel like this is gonna be a fun card, especially with the 3 fights at the top. But that whole main card is good. I like it. So let's get into it. We'll start with the prelims. Yeah. We'll start with the prelims, because like I said, I watch all the prelims. I like to go over all the fights. So we'll start down at the bottom with the women. Starting off the card seems to be a thing now, where they start the prelim card with women, and we had a few in a row there that were damn good fights. The last one wasn't as good, but yeah, let's see what this one brings us. Veronica Hardy versus Brogan Walker. Veronica Hardy is the wife of Dan Hardy, who fought in the UFC way back in the day, the crazy red mohawk guy. He was a commentator for a while too, until he talked some shit to the refs and almost jumped in the cage wanting them to stop a fight. And then apparently he was a dick to everybody in the back or something. I don't know, but they let him go. Now he's over, I think he's doing PFL. I'm not even sure anymore. But anyway, Veronica Hardy is his wife. She's a pretty damn good fighter. Doesn't have the best record in the world, but she has a lot of potential, and not bad to look at as well. She's fighting Brogan Walker. We got Veronica Hardy at 9-5 overall, 4-5 in the UFC. Brogan Walker is 7-4 overall, 0-2 in the UFC. So she's looking to get her first UFC win, and Veronica Hardy's looking to get herself to a 500 record in the UFC. We'll see what that one brings in the women's flyweight division. Next up, we got the men fighting. Oh shit. Oh, why am I going to change it? It's right there. Another spouse of another former UFC fighter, this time being a woman. Paige Van Zandt's husband, Austin Vanderford, is fighting Ramiz Brahimaj. Brahimaj is 12-5 overall and 4-3 in the UFC. Austin Vanderford 1-0 in the UFC. Came in finally. He fought in the Contender Series a while back. He won, but it was on one of those really bad nights where everybody went to decision and nobody seemed like they had any sense of urgency to win. And Dana White went off on a fucking tangent and ripped everybody a new asshole. And there was not too many contracts given out, and he was one of the ones that maybe should have gotten one but didn't. The greatest fighter turned off creator's husband. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I don't know if anybody's seen any of Paige Van Zandt's stuff, but yeah, unfortunately he gets involved in it sometimes, and yeah. But anyway, she's still fun to look at, I guess. She hasn't been doing much. Last thing she did was the power slap, and I think she's still involved with that. She fought bare knuckle once or twice too, I think. But anyway, her husband's fighting in this event, Austin Vanderford. He looked pretty good in his first fight. I think he got a first round finish. Let me double check that. But I believe he got it was a second round finish against Nikolai Veretennikov. So he fought in the LFA before that. He was in Bellator. So yeah, he's been around, looking to extend his wins in the UFC and go to 2-0. And beating Brahimaj, hopefully for him. Brahimaj is on a 2-fight win streak with 2 performance of the night bonuses on both of them. First round finishes, both 1 TKO, 1 submission for Brahimaj. So he's gonna bring the heat early, and we'll see if Austin Vanderford's wrestling can help him out with that. I mean, he's got some decent striking as well, but he's really known for his wrestling. So we'll see how that fight goes. Next up, we have Punahele Soriano versus, who I just mentioned, Nikolai Veretennikov. Just lost to Austin Vanderford. Coming back to try to get back in that win column. He's 1-2 in the UFC, 13-6 overall. This is in the men's welterweight division. Punahele Soriano's a pretty fun fighter. He's 5-4 in the UFC, 11-4 overall. But I mean, I've seen some good fights from him, so this could be a good one in that fight. Next up, Patchy Mix coming back after that embarrassing ass loss in his UFC debut. I don't know what the fuck this guy was thinking. Coming over from Bellator / PFL, and everyone was excited to see him come over to the UFC. Finally, it was one of those guys that we've always talked about in the bantamweight division that could definitely go toe to toe with some of the best in the UFC. That was the initial thought, but unfortunately came over to the UFC and just did not follow through. I mean, he didn't look the best in his last couple fights in Bellator, but man, like, you would think coming into the UFC finally after so long of just waiting and trying, just waiting to see when you're gonna get there, and then just eating shit like he did. It was tough, man. It was tough to watch. He's 20-2 overall, 0-1 in the UFC. Like I said, after that nasty loss, it was a decision loss, but he just looked horrible. He looked like he didn't belong in the cage with any UFC fighter, much less any other fighter. But he's coming in against a guy making his UFC debut. He's 16-3 overall, Jacob Wicklax. I think that's how you say his name. But yeah, he's coming in on his UFC debut, trying to fight Patchy Mix. We'll see if Patchy Mix can get this guy out of there and look somewhat good. That might help him. This guy single-handedly killed any hype for anyone outside. Yeah, I mean, it was bad, man. But it didn't help that anybody else that had come over, well, Michael Venom Page hasn't done that bad. But I mean, if you look at Pitbull, that was a horrible performance coming in as well. So yeah, him and Pitbull just did not do good for anybody coming in from other organizations. But it is what it is. Sometimes when you get to the level of fighters that are at the UFC, it's a different story than whatever you've been doing outside of the UFC. So next up, we got the women, a second women's fight. Macy Chiasson versus Yana Santos. Used to be Yana Kunitskaya, but she actually married Thiago Santos, if you remember him back in the day from the UFC. Wasn't that long ago, but anyway, they're fighting in the women's bantamweight division. Macy Chiasson's 10-4 overall, 8-4 in the UFC. Santos is 16-8 overall, 6-5 in the UFC. And both these girls got some pretty good striking. They kind of have a little bit of everything, so this could be a fun fight, or they could just nullify each other and make it a boring decision fight. You never know with the women. Chiasson is holy shit.
Damn, son.
Surprise, motherfucker.
Yes, she is. Oh shit, that's hilarious. But yes, Macy Chiasson is a woman fighting Yana Santos. Santos makes up for it a little bit. But anyway, yeah, we'll see how that fight goes. Both of them have some good skills all around, so could be a fun fight there. Next up, we have another Santos, Daniel Santos versus Ju Song Woo. Oh, Ju Song Yu. Yeah, Ju Song. I never know with these guys, Japanese guys, and their names. I can never remember which way it's supposed to go. It's listed in various different ways and everywhere, so it is what it is. Anyway, he's undefeated at 9-0. He's 1-0 in the UFC. Daniel Santos is 12-2 overall, 3-1 in the UFC. So Ju Song Yu's looking to continue to be undefeated and move over to 10-0 with this fight against Santos. Santos looking to get his 4th win in the UFC. We'll see how this one comes out. Men's featherweight division there in that prelim. Next up, we have Chris Gutierrez versus Farid Basharat. who is undefeated, 13-0, 4-0 in the UFC. Gutierrez 22-5 overall, 10-3 in the UFC. So Basharat 13-0, man. Fuck. Let's see what his wins were. All by decision except for one was a submission. That's sad. It was a first round finish though by arm triangle choke against Clayton Rodriguez. He hasn't really fought the highest level of competition. He fought Damone Blackshear. That's not bad. And he fought Victor Hugo. So decisions all the way around except for one submission, but still undefeated, 4-0 in the UFC. Chris Gutierrez, pretty fun fighter if I remember correctly. He's 10-3 in the UFC, coming off of a 2-fight winning streak with wins over Quang Lee and John Castaneda, both decision wins. So unfortunately, we might be going to decision with this one. So let's hope it's at least high output with the striking or something to make that one good. Next up, we have Edmund Shabazian versus Andre Muniz. This one should be a fun fight because Shabazian is one of those guys that comes out and puts it all out there. Muniz is a tough fighter, 6-3 in the UFC, 24-7 overall, 15-5 overall for Shabazian, 8-5 in the UFC. Edmund Shabazian, if you remember, was in the camp of Ronda Rousey back in the day when he was coming up. But yeah, that should be a decent fight there in the prelims. And then we got the featured prelim, Atiba Gauthier versus Tristan Fines, making his UFC debut. He's 10-3 overall. Gauthier's 2-0 in the UFC. Both of those fights have been exciting. 8-1 overall. Let's see, his 2 fights in the UFC were against Robert Valentine with a first round TKO win, and then Jose Medina, also a first round win. And both of those he had performance of the night bonuses in. So he likes to get in there and get things going quickly and finish the fight before it can even get out of the first round. So Tristan Vines is looking to get his first UFC win in his debut against somebody with that kind of record. That would be a big win for him if he was able to pull that off. So we'll see. Mini Ngannou. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And I mean, he's exciting too. Like, I don't know, Ngannou wasn't pulling all that off in the beginning. But that should be a fun fight to lead us into the main card. And that gets started with Joe Pyfer versus Abus not Nurmagomedov, just Magomedov. Pyfer versus Magomedov. Pyfer's 14-3 overall, 5-1 in the UFC. Of course, gets that loss and everyone's high on him until he loses, and then they all fucking call it fraud check and shit. And I understand, I guess, to a certain extent, but oh, thanks. I understand. I guess he's not on a 2-fight win streak because one of those was grappling. That's annoying. Oh no, he is. So he beat Kelvin Gastelum in his last fight back in June, unanimous decision, and then he had a TKO win over Marc-Andre Barriault, which was his first fight back after that loss to Jack Hermanson, which everyone was annoyed with. But he comes back against Marc-Andre Barriault and gets a first round TKO win and gets a performance of the night bonus. So all that fraud check talk, and there you go. But then he comes up and fights Kelvin Gastelum, wins by unanimous decision. You know, that wasn't the most exciting fight ever, but it was a good fight for him, and he showed and proved he can fight against the bigger names as well. So now he's fighting Abus Magomedov, who is 28-6, 4-2 in the UFC. Look at 14-2 by KO TKO, while Pyfer's 5-1, 7-2 and 7-2 for the rest of those categories, as well as Pyfer being 3-1 and 2-1. They're both on win streaks. Magomedov on a 3-fight win streak. Let's take a look at his opponents. His last fight was against Michel Pereira, unanimous decision win there. A submission win against Bruno Ferreira in the 3rd round before that, and then a decision win against Worley Alves. So he's fought once this year, and that was that fight against Pereira, his last fight. Before that, he had 2 losses in a row, but that was to Sean Strickland and Kyle Bahalio. So it seems like when he fights the guys about at the level of Joe Pyfer right now, he tends to win. So that's something to look out for. But I mean, I think Pyfer's hungry right now, being on that 2-fight win streak, especially after all the bullshit with the loss. So I think he's on a roll right now, and he's definitely going to be coming out looking to finish somebody. And Magomedov might be that guy. But with Magomedov and his skills, being on a 3-fight win streak and beating guys that are usually a little bit higher level than Joe Pyfer, you never know. This is a toss-up. Let's see. Does it give me odds? It looks like Magomedov is a slight underdog according to Tapology. Pyfer is a -220 favorite. So who knows? I feel like this one's a bit of a toss-up. You know, they both have skills. They can both strike. They both got... Magomedov has more, I think, more submissions. What did he say? 7-2. And then Pyfer was 3-1. Yeah, 3-1. So he's got some submissions in there too. So I think they'll be able to mix it up well. Pyfer can be very exciting. We've seen him get some good knockouts, but Avis is right up there with him. So I just think this is going to be a fun fight, and it's a good way to start off the main card. And that brings us to the next fight on the main card, Josh Emmett versus Youssef Zalal. And you want to talk about exciting and having some heavy hands. Josh Emmett is that. We've seen him lose in the past, of course. He's 19-5 overall, 10-5 in the UFC. But, I mean, we've seen him with some crazy knockouts. Most of his wins come by decision, but when he gets his hands on you and he lands a big punch, as we saw with Mr. Flat Earther, Bryce Mitchell. We saw him damn near take Bryce Mitchell's life. His soul started leaving his body when he got knocked out by Joe Pyfer. I mean, Joe Pyfer, fuck. I just looked at Joe Pyfer's name. When he got knocked out by Josh Emmett. That was a nasty knockout. I mean, the craziest knockout against Bryce Mitchell. So he did lose after that to Lerone Murphy. That was his last fight. But as we saw Lerone Murphy get that nasty spinning back elbow win in his last fight, and now is possibly getting the title shot. So, you know, you lose to somebody who's about to fight for the title. Like, it's understandable. We get it. He's higher level. You're just working your way in there. So he's been on a couple win, lose, win, lose. So maybe it's time for him to win, unless he's going to finish that pattern and lose twice in a row again. We'll see. Youssef Zalal's pretty impressive on his own, though. He's never been finished, only lost by decision. And yeah, he's 9-0 by sub, 4-5 by decision, and 4-0 by KO TKO, 7-3 UFC record, 17-5 overall. And let's take a look at his last wins. Damn. 1, 2, 3, 4-0 in the UFC. No, 7-3. So his record was broken up. He did nothing but he lost some fights in the UFC, got cut, and then came back. So in his last 4 fights in the UFC, he has won all by submission except one was by decision. So Josh Emmett is looking to keep this one on the feet for sure, but as you can see by that knee from Zalal, he can fight on the feet as well. He's got a couple performance of the night bonuses in there against Jack Shore and Jarno Aarons. His last fight was against Calvin Kattar, where he got a win by unanimous decision. Oh, Tyler's back. What's up, Tyler? So yeah, he's going to be looking to possibly get this to the ground, but he can fight on the feet as well. But he's got to survive that Josh Emmett fucking crazy overhand right and the power in both his hands. So this should be a fun fight for the second one on the main card. Next up, we get into the serious fights, and that is starting with Jiri Prochazka versus Khalil Rountree. And this fight I'm fucking looking forward to 100%. And that's because we know what kind of a savage Jiri Prochazka is. But we also saw the war that Khalil Rountree went through. And I say him because he didn't he got some real good hits in on Pereira. But Pereira just fucking mangled his face. That's the best way I could say it. And it was a crazy fight, but I give Rountree all the credit in the world for sticking in there. He was tough as hell. He was durable. And I mean, it took Pereira really to hurt him so bad he couldn't continue. And of course that's the point, but a lot of times guys get a flash KO or, you know, catch a liver punch or some shit, and that's what ends them. But Rountree really took all the damage in the world, and that's not always a good thing, but fuck, it was impressive to watch him fight through all of that adversity and still kind of stand up and hold his own for here and there. So I think Zalal's gonna win. I think that Josh Emmett is too focused on overhands and winging shots, especially if he starts losing. No, that's yeah, I agree is what I meant to say. That's kind of what I was saying. It's just not in so many words. I think Zalal's best bet is to get him on the ground. But I mean, Emmett, if he catches you early, super dangerous. And he is usually winging punches, but I feel like that's just his style, not so much that he's messy. But when he gets in trouble, yeah, that's a problem. So I mean, you have a point all the way around. Josh Emmett is scary though with those hands, so we'll see if he uses them correctly or gets too wild and then Zalal winds up getting the best of him. It'll be tough. It'll be a tough one. We'll just kind of have to wait and see how that first round plays out, or the first couple minutes of the first round. But in this one, Jiri Prochazka versus Khalil Rountree. Prochazka 5-2 in the UFC. Look at 27 wins by KO TKO. That's insane. He's got 31 wins overall. So almost all those have been KOs. 3-1 by sub, 1-0 by decision. He's coming off a win. Khalil Rountree's 10-6 in the UFC, 9-3 by KO TKO, 0-1 by sub, and 5-2 by decision. He's also coming off a win. And yeah, with Jiri, like I was saying, he has all those KO TKOs. And that's what, I mean, he's damn good at that. He fought in Ryzen where he was 11-1 before he came to the UFC. And he's coming off that win over Jamal Hill, TKO in the third round by ground and pound. But, you know, we've seen him do that to many people. Alexander Rakic, who you see in that left-hand picture, Dominic Reyes in the right. His last loss was to Pereira. His last two losses, actually, where he, you know, was fighting for the belt in the last loss that he had. Then he came back and fought former champ Jamal Hill and wins. Got a performance of the night bonus there. Got a performance of the night bonus against Alexander Rakic as well, where he got a TKO win. So I mean, he's usually winning or losing by KO TKO. So yeah, let's see. What is this saying? That doesn't even make sense. Anyway, yeah, it has a lot of wins over a lot of big names: Dominic Reyes, Volkan Ozdemir, CB Dalloway, Fabio Maldonado. So I mean, yeah, Jiri's that guy, and he's one of those guys that looks like he could live by the sword, die by the sword. Yeah, exactly. He's definitely one of those guys, and I feel like him versus Rountree was probably the best matchup you can make right now, because Khalil has also beat Jamal Hill, and put up a good fight against Alex Pereira. And as you can see, he landed some punches of his own on Alex. Jamal Hill he beat by unanimous decision, so he didn't finish him like Jiri did, but he got all the way to the fourth round with Alex Pereira, which is, you know, not really heard of unless you beat him. He beat Anthony Smith by TKO, got a performance of the night there, got a fight of the night with that Alex Pereira fight, by the way. And then Chris Dawkins he beat in the first round by TKO as well, also another performance bonus. Khalil's got a lot of performance bonuses. He's got one against Carl Roberson, who's fighting in BKFC this weekend. I was talking about that earlier. He beat him by TKO back in 2022. He's got a lot of fucking performance of the night bonuses. So that's a sign of a good fighter that puts on good fights. It's going to be interesting to see Khalil in a messy fight where he's not controlling the flow. Yeah, because I mean, Jiri is so long. He throws those wild kicks and punches. I think it's more that he's just awkward, the way that he strikes. So it's going to be an interesting fight, man, because yeah, Khalil likes to do certain things, and if he can't do those, he gets frustrated. And yeah, we'll just see, because I think Jiri frustrates a lot of people. Alex obviously has his number for sure, beating him twice, you know, but not too many people have a beat on Jiri like that. So it'll be an interesting fight, because Khalil will definitely go to war, and Yuri's down for it too. So man, this could be a classic. So it'll be a fun one. I'm looking forward to it. Let's get to this co-main event, the first title of the night, bantamweight championship belt, Merab Dvalishvili versus Cory Sandhagen. And this is interesting just because Cory's been one of those guys that tends to get to the spot where he's in contention for the belt and then just drops a fight, and he can't make his way back up there quick enough. He fought for the belt once before, though, against Petr Yan, and lost that one. But I mean, it seems like he gets up there to the top and then just kind of falters. And that's what I'm worried about with him in this fight here, because Merab is one of those guys that is very hard to fight because of his fighting style. You know, the gas tank that never ends. And the gas tank that never ends, the takedowns that are just immense, like so many fucking takedowns all the time. He has all the records for takedowns. And on top of that, you know, he just is a hard guy to get out of there. Like you cannot finish the guy. So I mean, he's been submitted once in his career. He's lost 2 fights, but those 2 fights were in the he's lost 4 fights, I'm sorry. 2 of those were in the UFC. They were the first 2 fights that he fought in, and people started downing on him and thinking he was nothing. Comes back and now is on a 13 fight win streak, and I mean, now he's the champ. It took him forever to become a champ because he had his best friend and training partner 60 takedowns against Yan Insanity. Yeah, no shit. Insane, man. There's insane numbers. I don't even know how to explain it, but you can just by looking at that, 60 takedowns against one guy is fucking crazy. So yeah, Merab, I mean, his best friend and training partner was the champ in that division, in the bantamweight division, for a long time. So, and they would never fight each other. And while Merab was making his way up there, everyone wondered, is he going to get up there, get to the point where he's the #1 contender, and then is he going to have to fight Eljo, and will they fight each other? But they refused to fight each other. They said that they would never do it, and it kind of held Merab back. But you know, Aljamain, as we know, moved up in weight and allowed, you know, maybe not allowed, but by default, Merab was able to get that title shot. Gets the win against Sugar Sean, who previously beat Eljo for the belt. So I mean, he kind of got his get back for his brother, and beat Sugar Sean twice. So Sean came back trying to get his belt back and was not able to win. Merab has defended 3 times at this point. So he's on a 13 fight win streak, 13-2 overall in the UFC, 3-0 by KO TKO, 2-1 by sub, and 15-3 by decision. A lot of decisions, but you know, his fights are like that. I mean, like I said, he never runs out of gas, and he's constant with the takedown. He has a lot of control. He gets all the dominant positions and might hold people down, but in the end, he's a dominant champion. So it's hard to argue with that. I know some people might not like his style, but Cory Sandhagen has an exciting style because you see him with the flying knees all the time. He's knocked down multiple people with them. He's 8-0 by KO TKO, 3-1 by sub, 7-4 by decision. He's coming off a win on his own as well. 11-4 in the UFC. I feel like, I feel like this could be a really good fight, or it's going to be a long decision. And that's only because Merab will, if he takes control right away and Cory gets frustrated and can't do anything with those takedowns and with the wrestling. I mean, Merab has crazy chain wrestling. When, you know, he gets you to a point and you get out of any position that he likes you to be in, he will work his way to the next dominant position and get you there. So it's crazy. It's technical. It's fucking tiring. Tiring 100% for that fighter that's fighting him, but to watch as well sometimes. But I mean, I think he's a great champ. He's definitely overcome the kind of the quietness he had going on before. He's really made his voice known. He's doing skits on TikTok and Instagram and shit. He's, you know, making his name known, and he's become a pretty good champ. So I like seeing him up there. Tyler says Merab 50-45. I wouldn't be surprised. But Cory Sandhagen is a game opponent. Like I said, he's fought for the title once before against Petr Yan. Let me see real quick before I get to that. Merab, his last fight was against Sean O'Malley. He beat Umar Nurmagomedov in between the two fights with Sean O'Malley. So he's on his going for his third title defense here against Cory Sandhagen. Sandhagen is coming off of a win over Davison Figueiredo. Oh, where he got that, he twisted his knee and fucked his knee up. He got him in an actual submission. I'm not sure if it was a knee bar or what kind of submission it was. I don't remember at the moment. Merab will be the undisputed bantamweight GOAT if he wins. Yeah, because we've said that about people that have had less defenses than he has. So yeah, and who's next, right? I don't even know who would be next if Cory loses. Maybe Merab will move up in weight, or just try to continue to just go through everybody that's possible in that division. But yeah, Sandhagen looked impressive in that Figgy fight, and he got a performance of the night bonus in that one. Second round TKO win for him there. He lost to Umar Nurmagomedov before that, 50-50 position, and Figgy's knee popped. Yeah, I couldn't remember if it was an actual submission or what. That's right, 50-50. But yeah, it was nasty the way he twisted his knee up, and yeah, he was in pain. So, but I mean, Cory was doing great in that fight before that anyway. Figgy just didn't look like himself, and man, he dropped that one hard, and then he got injured on top of it. So but yeah, Sandhagen's loss was before that against Umar Nurmagomedov. He fought Petr Yan for the title back in 2021. Was that for the title? I think it was. Yeah, and he lost that by decision. So yeah, a lot of decisions on his record as of late. I mean, except for the last one was a TKO, but that was because of an injury. So, but again, with that flying knee, I mean, not too many people can land a punch like this on Chito Vera. Was it interim? It might have been the interim title. I just remember him saying that earlier in an interview I listened to him on. It just doesn't say here for sure if it was a title fight or not, but it might have been interim. Who knows? Anyway, yeah, so that, again, not too many people can land a punch like that on Chito Vera. You got those crazy flying knees. Imagine if he catches Merab with a flying knee. That would be fucking insane. So that'd be a hell of a way for him to win. Anyway, let's move on to that main event. Magomed Ankalaev versus Alex Pereira for the main event for the light heavyweight championship belt. Rematch. Pereira trying to get his belt back. Magomedov trying to defend for the first time against his opponent he's had before, and he beat by decision. I wouldn't say it was like a super impressive fight. I wouldn't say that it was super dominant for Ankalaev either, but yeah, Pereira supposedly was injured, had an issue with I think, was it his foot or I think it was his foot. And on top of that, he said he was like 40% overall. He had fought a lot of fights in a short period of time, saving a bunch of UFC fights by taking short notice fights and shit. But yeah, when it came down to it, he lost his title. So Ankalaev, not the most exciting fighter. Him and Jan Blachowicz fought to a draw that was boring as hell. Yeah, I mean, and everyone was worried about him and the ground game just because being a Magomedov, Ankalaev, it's just one of those. Everyone thought that, but he didn't even, any takedown attempts he took on Pereira defended somewhat easily. So that wasn't even what lost him the fight. So it's just kind of one of those things. I feel like if Pereira comes out, like Tyler was saying earlier, with what I thought he was saying, it was a good point, was the leg kicks. If Pereira comes out with those leg kicks, that would, I'm solely focused on that because that's what I thought you were talking about. But if he comes out with those leg kicks and uses them, it was interim. Okay, Yeah, I knew it was for a title of some sort. I just couldn't remember if it was interim or not. But and it was after it looked like Piotr Jan had beat TJ Dillashaw, so I was thinking, who knows? But yeah, you just looked it up, so at least we know that. Good call on that one. But yeah, Pereira comes out and starts using those leg kicks. I think he's gonna do a lot better than he did on the last one. And then if he's healthy too, because if he's healthy, it's a whole different story. I feel like Ankalaev did well, but I just don't know. I don't know if he can beat like top level Pereira. We'll see how much after the break, if he has what it takes to get that belt back. Ankalaev is the moderate favorite. It says -220, and Pereira's a slight underdog. So might be some good time to make some money if you want to bet on this one, because I feel like Pereira has what it takes to get the title back. But we'll see how he comes in. 12-1 in the UFC for Ankalaev. 11-0 by KO TKO, never been finished on the feet. 0-1 by sub, and 10-0 by decision on a 12-fight win streak. Pereira's 12-3 overall, 9-2 in the UFC, 10-1 by KO TKO, 0-1 by sub, and 2-1 by decision. He is coming off the loss to Ankalaev. Let's take a look at Ankalaev's last opponent. As we said, Pereira. Before that, he fought Alexander Rakic, got a decision win there. TKO win against Johnny Walker with a performance bonus. Anthony Smith, Thiago Santos, Volkan Oezdemir. He's fought all the names. Ian Kutalava, Nikita Krylov. So yeah, that's why he's at the level he's at, and he was, put it on Pereira and got the win in the last fight. So we'll see if Pereira can turn it around here and look like the Pereira of old. If he can fight like he did against Jiri, he'll definitely be able to win this one. Unanimous decision loss, where he lost his title. He defended 3 times in a row before that, though, in the light heavyweight division. Twice against Jiri, once against Jamal Hill, and once against Khalil Rountree, who's fighting in this card as well. So he could easily make it back, and that'll bring him to having, I don't know how many times he's been the damn champ at this point. It's crazy. So I think Ankalaev round 4 KO. It's going to be interesting, though. Yeah, I'm going for Pereira. Ankalaev just doesn't do anything for me, man, unfortunately. I like Poatan, so I wouldn't mind seeing him get the title back. But it's going to be fun, and I think it's a great main event. Those last 3 fights especially, but the whole main card is good. So I'm definitely going to enjoy this watch party. So make sure you come back and watch that on Saturday. Let's do this quickly and get this over with. We got the fight wheel. I want Pereira to win, but I think Ankalaev will. Shit. Yeah, unfortunately. You could be right, but I'm hoping not. So let's take a look at the fight wheel predictions from last week. Where is it? Oh, here we go. So we had Jake Matthews winning, and that was wrong. Dominic Reyes winning, that was wrong. Charlie Campbell winning, that was wrong. Tavares to win, that was wrong. Jimmy Crute to win, that was right. And Tafa got scrapped. So we had 1 out of 6. Holy shit, that was a bad day. That was a bad day for the fight wheel predictions. Wow. That's okay. It is what it is. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're not. And we'll see what it does for us this time. Let me clear this out. Matthews, technically he did win, because that was some bullshit. He won the first part of the fight, that's for sure. Let's get rid of these names and let's spin the wheel. We got 5 fights on the main card. Here's your first fight wheel prediction. I do this because I suck at picking and I suck at gambling, so we do it randomly. Joe Pyfer to be the first winner of the night, beating, who the hell is he fighting? Abus Magomedov. So first fight of the night, first prediction, Joe Pyfer to win. We'll see if that's correct. Oh shit, I didn't get rid of. There's that. Let's see. Next up, we have Salty Joe Pyfer. Khalil Rountree Oh shit. In the third fight of the night to beat Jiri Prochazka. That's a tough one, but I mean, I could see it happening. I just don't know if it will, but that's an interesting pick for the fight wheel predictions. 2 down, 3 to go. UFC 320 fight wheel predictions randomly. Let's see what happens. Oh shit, Merab in the co-main event to defend his title. That feels like it's probably the right pick, but you know, I kind of feel like Cory has a bit of a chance. I just talked about that, but we'll see. So Merab gone, Cory gone. 2 fights left, including the main event. Just log off a long shift with Piper at the salt mines. Oh. Yusuf's allowed to win that first fight against Josh Emmett. Ooh. So maybe he gets the fight to the ground and submits Emmett for that first fight of the night. I feel like that's his best route to win anyway, but we'll see if the fight wheel's right about that. Last but not least, the main event, Magomed Ankalaev versus Alex Pereira, and it looks like Ankalaev. Tyler would be calling it right if that's the truth. Ankalaev to defend his title and beat Alex Pereira in the rematch. So there is your fight wheel predictions. Only one underdog. Yeah, so we got Magomed Ankalaev to beat Alex Pereira. We got Yusuf Zalal to beat Josh Emmett. Merab to beat Cory Sandhagen and defend his title. Khalil Rountree beating Jiri Prochazka. And Joe Piper to beat Abus Magomedov. So those are your fight wheel predictions. Do what you will with them. Remember them, forget them. I don't care. Bet on them. It's up to you. Or don't do nothing. Just come back on Sunday and find out how well it did. So that's it for that. And that wraps it up. So thanks for jumping in, Tyler. Of course, Infinity, thanks always for jumping in as well. Anybody else that was in here, appreciate you watching. Don't forget about the Watch Party podcast happening Saturday. I agree with all these picks except Khalil, but you never know. Yeah, it's actually not a bad, well, it's not a lot of bad fights, so they could go either way, and that's what I like about them. So the fight wheel could be completely right, completely wrong. That's why it's totally up to chance. So that's what makes it fun. But anyway, thanks for all the support. Thanks for jumping in and interacting, everybody in the chat, and anybody else watching. Make sure you hit that like button if you were here now. Hit that before you get off of here, and if you are watching later, don't forget to hit the like button while you watch. Leave a comment, share it with somebody, like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Hit the notification bell. Come back for the watch party during the main card of UFC 320. Infinity will be here live in studio along with a couple other guys, and it'll be a fun one. So that's it for me. I'm out of here. Take it easy. Peace.